Kevin Durant and LeBron James are two of the greatest basketball players of all time. Both of these superstars have had great careers with a lot of accomplishments. But if these players played in different eras than each other, they could have had a lot more, as they seriously affected each other's careers. But what if they didn't have to? What if KD and LeBron came up in the NBA together and played on the same team? Well, today we're going to be answering that question. A lot of you guys that are watching the videos are not subscribed to the channel, which I get it. I be watching videos too and forget to subscribe. But we're trying to hit 5K by the end of the year, so hit that sub button. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to do it right now. I'm just going to put a picture up of Josh Giddey for 5 seconds. So if you sit here and look at Josh Giddey instead of subscribing for 5 seconds, you're weird. Which would bring us to season 1, where Kevin Durant would be joining LeBron James on the 2003-2004 Cavs team. This Cavs team was a struggling franchise, and fans hoped with the new pickups of KD and LeBron James, they could turn the franchise around. And the Cavs fans' hopes seemed to be coming true, as these two came into the league looking great. You almost couldn't tell they were rookies. The key word there is almost, though, as although they had a great season making the playoffs, their inexperience would show, losing in the first round of the playoffs to a veteran Pistons team. But let's focus on the positives of the season. Nobody was expecting them to go win a ring year 1 anyways. They have a lot of time to do that. Kevin Durant took home the Rookie of the Year over LeBron in this stacked class of rookies, and he put up 25.4 points per game this season, which is insane for a rookie. And that'd be a big accomplishment to the accolade categories. We would be keeping track of MVPs and Finals MVPs throughout this video to see who was more effective for the team, which would bring us to year 2, where hopes would be very high in Cleveland, and KD and Bron would deliver, going 55-27, grabbing the 2 seed in the East behind the 1 seed of Detroit Pistons. And the Cavs would handle business in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, including knocking out Wade and the Miami Heat, which would bring us to the Eastern Conference Finals, and 6 games was not enough to decide this series, as the Cavs would find themselves in a Game 7 to get to their first Finals, and Game 7 would not disappoint. It would come down to the final seconds, where Kevin Durant would get the ball to take a shot to try and win the game.
Here is Durant for the win! Kevin Durant!
In the finals, the Cavs would match up against the T-Wolves. T-Wolves' star player was Kevin Garnett, who has been averaging 35.4 points per game on this dominant playoff run. And KG's dominant run would continue throughout the finals, putting up 43 in Game 1, 47 in Game 2, and 36 in Game 3, helping the Wolves take a 3-0 lead on the Cavs. And I wish I could say Game 4 would go different, but it didn't. KG would absolutely dominate and take home a ring for the Wolves and a Finals MVP. And it would be obvious that KD and Bron would have some development to do over the offseason. And that's exactly what they would do, as they'd be in the lab all offseason improving. And that work would help LeBron get to a 96 overall and KD up to a 94 overall going into season 3. And season 3 was the first season one of these players were in the MVP talks, with Bron averaging a 26-point double-double. But the MVP ended up going out to LA to Kobe Bryant, who put up a little over 32 points per game this season. But the Cavs looked like a different team this year, getting the 1 seed in the East, heading into the playoffs looking to make a finals push, which brought the Cavs to the Eastern Conference Finals versus Iverson and the Sixers. And Iverson was giving them buckets all series, but his team was not much help at all, and he was not able to overcome the duo of KD and LeBron by himself, which moved the Cavs onto the finals in only 4 games, where their opponent in the finals would be the Houston Rockets. And this finals featured 3 of the best scorers in the league, which would make a very entertaining series. And KD would put up 41 and 37 in games 1 and 2 to take a 2-0 lead for the Cavs. But T-Mac would answer really quick when the series went back to Houston, putting up a 51-point Game 3 to make the series 2-1. But after T-Mac's games, KD and Bron would take over, taking the next 2 games, winning their first of many rings as a duo. And the first Finals MVP would be going out to LeBron James. And while LeBron was able to beat KD first to the Finals MVP, KD this season was able to beat LeBron to the first league MVP, mainly due to KD leading the entire NBA in scoring with 33 points per game this season. And the Cavs would find themselves in the finals once again, but this series wouldn't be as easy, as they would be facing Kobe and the Lakers, as Kobe just brought this not so great Laker team through a Western Conference gauntlet. Now, Kobe would have a tough task to take down LeBron and KD by himself, but if he did, he knew it would be a great argument for the GOAT debate. So he would go out there hooping, putting up 49 in Game 1 in Cleveland to steal the first game. But LeBron and KD weren't going out that easy at home, because the next game the Cavs would blow the Lakers out 123-89, which would bring us to Game 3 in the Staples Center, where Kobe would set a record for the most points in a playoff game with 68 points, breaking MJ's previous record of 63. And next game, Kobe would stay locked in with another great game, putting up 52 points, taking a 3-1 series lead going to Game 5. And Game 5 would be going back to Cleveland, where LeBron did not play around with a 41-point triple-double to bring the Cavs back into the series. But unfortunately, LeBron's Game 5 would not matter, as Kobe would have another amazing game with a 41-point, 16-assist game to close out the series in LA and win one of the most impressive rings in NBA history. Next season, you might expect one of these 2 players to win the MVP with the great season they had, going 68-14. But that wasn't the case, as the MVP would actually be given out in Miami to Dwayne Wade, which to think that KD and Bron would be joining an NBA MVP in just 2 short seasons is absolutely crazy. Going to the playoffs, the Cavs were hunting for ring number 2. But as in the past, how the Cavs were flying through the East, it would not be as easy this playoffs. Because this Eastern Conference Finals, they would match up against the Boston Celtics, who over the offseason formed a big 3. And this Cavs team already has some history with Kevin Garnett, who beat LeBron and KD in their first finals appearance. And you could tell it was personal because the Cavs seemed to hit that next level as a team, and they got their get back on Kevin Garnett and took home the series in 6 games. And the NBA Finals would be the Cavs versus the Lakers, and Kobe would get help over the offseason with Pau Gasol. So this team that just beat the Cavs last year has gotten a lot better. But revenge was a common theme for the Cavs this season, as they would win this series in 6 games. KD would take home the Finals MVP as well, putting up 36.8 points per game throughout the entire series. And the next 2 years were the final 2 years that LeBron and KD would be on the Cavs. And both of these seasons, the Cavs would match up in the finals against Kobe and the Lakers. In the first matchup, the Cavs were able to prevail as they took home another ring in a 4-2 series. The Finals MVP this year was LeBron James, who fell 3 assists per game short of averaging a 28-point triple-double for the series. And before we get to the finals next season, Kevin Durant would go out and win his 2nd league MVP, scoring at an insane rate of 34.3 points per game, which extended his league MVP lead on LeBron 2-0. And in the finals, as you know, they would play Kobe and the Lakers, and this time the series was a lot closer, going all the way to a Game 7. Alright, it is a tie game with 30 seconds left, as you just saw. Kobe's trying to get one more ring before LeBron and KD go to Miami, because when LeBron and KD go to Miami with Wade and Bosh, I don't know if the team's going to even come close to beating them, to be honest. I have no clue, but KD pulling up tough. What a tough shot right there, pulling up in Pau's face. All right, we got 1 second left in OT. The Cavs are up 2. The Lakers with the ball. Kobe's going to get the last shot. Kobe from deep, from almost half court, pulling up, and he's going to miss it. It rims in and out. And the Cavs take the NBA championship from the Lakers on their home floor in Game 7. And they're going to give the MVP to LeBron James. In the next season, one of the most broken teams of all time would be formed in Miami. Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant, Chris Bosh, and running point guard for this team, LeBron James. And everyone in the NBA was excited to watch this team besides Cavs fans. And while you may think KD or LeBron would not win any MVPs in Miami because of all these superstars on this team and everyone having to get their touches, LeBron's stats actually increased at the point guard position with a bunch of talent around him. His season averages were 31 points per game, 13 assists per game, and 10 rebounds per game, which would win him his first MVP award. And this team would obviously make the playoffs as the 1 seed with a record-breaking regular season of 75-7. And the most comp they would get in the East was the 2-seeded Bulls and Derrick Rose, who was a good team, but I mean, they didn't win a game against the Heat. But they did give him the closest final scores out of everyone. And in the finals, the Heat would complete the clean sweep, not losing a game all playoffs. But the question was, who won finals MVP? KD had a good series, putting up 27 points per game, but LeBron had a better series, averaging a 24-point triple-double, taking home another finals MVP. And there was really no one that was going to beat this super team, as they would absolutely dominate the next 3 seasons, winning 3 rings, only losing 3 total playoff games in 3 years. They would beat the Spurs in 2012 with KD winning finals MVP, averaging 40 points per game for the entire series. They would beat the Lakers in 2013, and KD would win finals MVP once again, putting up over 35 points per game the entire series. And they would complete the 4-peat, beating the Pelicans in the 2014 finals, with LeBron winning the finals MVP in Miami, putting up a triple-double average throughout the finals. And just like that, the Heat era was over, and KD and LeBron would move this legendary run back to where it all started. And this Cavs roster would look different than last time, with a new upcoming star point guard, Kyrie Irving. So that means LeBron would have to be moving back to his normal position at small forward. And this team would go 70-12 in the regular season, but even with the amazing season, the MVP would still go to Steph Curry, who was setting the league on fire. And the Warriors is exactly who the Cavs matched up against in the finals, and Curry would put up a good fight, creating some electric plays. But the duo of KD and Bron did it again, as it seemed nobody in the league was going to stop them no matter where they went or who they played, and the finals MVP went to LeBron James. Next season, Steph would take home the MVP once again, and he hoped to pull off a crazy upset this year in the finals versus 2 dudes that have been dominating the NBA. And I don't know if it was Steph's elite play or the Cavs just weren't taking it as serious anymore, but the finals came down to a Game 7. Klay with the ball. It looks like Klay's gonna be the one to take the shot. He's going up with the layup and he's gonna hit it. But this Warriors team and Steph Curry could be the team to finally stop the run. I mean, they've just been absolutely dominating the league. It was like almost time for them to at least lose one, but KD pulling up, he's gonna brick it. That's gonna be the series. The Cavs started off next season at a record-setting pace. They were looking unstoppable, as they were undefeated going into the All-Star break. And if that doesn't tell you how good this this team is, then maybe that 3 of their 5 starters started in the All-Star game this year will. And the Cavs were 58-0 before they took their first loss on the season to the Detroit Pistons of all teams. But they did finish the season going 79-3, which obviously set an NBA record. And the MVP had to go to somebody on this team with only 3 losses, and it was given to LeBron. And whoever matched up with this team in the playoffs was pretty much a go-home early ticket, as they didn't lose a game all the way to the finals. And in the finals, they did not match up against Steph and the Warriors, as you may expect. This time it was Russ and the Thunder, who have been pretty quiet all video. But the Thunder did not stand a chance. With Kyrie developing, this big 3 was scary, and they completed the whole playoff run with 0 losses and another ring. And the finals MVP ended up being handed to Kevin Durant. Over the offseason, Kyrie would go to the Celtics, leaving Kd and LeBron with a not so great Cavs roster. But even with the bad roster, the Cavs were still able to get the 1 seed in the East, and LeBron would take home the MVP of the league again. And this would be the final season in the East for Bron and KD, as they would be taking their talents to LA to finish their careers up next season. And the Cavs would fly through the East once again, meeting Golden State, who just got by the Rockets in 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. Steph played great throughout this series against the Cavs, putting up 38 in Game 1 and 44 points in Game 2. But the only problem was that they got blown out every single game. The Cavs took the series 4-0, winning another ring, continuing this ridiculous run that KD and LeBron would be on, and LeBron would put up an impressive stat line for Finals MVP. Which would bring us to the Lakers era, and KD seemed to be adjusting to LA the fastest, putting up one of his best seasons of his career, putting up over 30 points per game this season. But the MVP would be going out to Houston, where James Harden would have an amazing season, averaging over a 33-point triple-double. And this was not the East anymore. It wasn't going to be an easy run to the finals like it has been in the past years. And the Lakers would get put to the test in just the second round against the MVP, where Harden would take them to Game 7. 15 seconds left in the game. The Lakers are down 1 point. LeBron with the ball on PJ Tucker. They need to score a bucket right here. Rondo with the had a wide open mid-range pull-up and didn't shoot it. I don't know what the Lakers are doing right now, but LeBron with the ball down the post to Zubac shooting the mid-range, and it's gonna rim in and out. That might have been one of the worst possessions of basketball I've ever seen in my life, and the Lakers just sold. And with the Lakers stars getting old, they brought in Anthony Davis to form a big 3 to try and help send off KD and Bron the right way. And playing with vets really helped AD, as he averaged 31.3 points per game this season and 15.4 boards this season, winning himself his first MVP award. The Lakers didn't have much of a tough run in the West until the Clippers, where it would be a good series against Kawhi and Paul George. But the addition of AD seemed to be helping a lot, as the Lakers would win the series 4-2, which would bring us to the finals, where the Lakers would play the Bucks, and the Bucks stood absolutely no chance, with the Lakers winning the series easy. And the last finals MVP of the video would be going to Anthony Davis.